Solaris by Stanislaw Lem, a Polish writer. This is the Polish to French to English translation, which is the translation that the author himself was disappointed with. I'm enjoying it. It's like a 3.5, maybe a 3, maybe a 4 out of 5. I don't know. It's pretty damn good. It's really introspective, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty deep, I guess. Whatever. It's cool. I'm digging it, you know. Let me do something. I'm cleaning a glass, you know, with like some instrument. But now that that's done, unfortunately, I have been reading. I went to go donate some plasma, and I am pretty far into the story. I think I'm on page 90. I'm in the beginning of the conference. So I guess I'll spoil it now. If you don't want no spoilers, I suggest you leave. Kelvin landed. Yeah, so Kelvin landed here, and he's trying to what is it called? He wants to. He's a Kelvin is a psychologist, and he was sent to a space station to see why they went crazy. Upon landing, someone killed themselves. They're seeing ghosts. And it turns out the ocean is sentient. The ocean is alive. And Kelvin is honestly trying to figure out a way. He's trying to figure out what he should be doing, but he hasn't really had time to think because he's met a ghost himself now, and it's following him around, and it's his dead ex-wife, who killed herself because he left her in the past, and for some reason she's come back from the dead. You know, she doesn't look or say things exactly like his wife would, so he thinks it's like the alien, the ocean. She doesn't look or say things exactly like his wife would, so he thinks it's like the alien, the ocean alien. One of the scientists in the story, Professor Snow, Dr. Snow, he thinks that the sentient ocean invaded their I thought I heard something. Dr. Snow thinks that the aliens somehow invaded their brains and accessed their memories, and so the alien can like make itself look like anyone, I think. So it's taking the form of his dead wife, and he can like touch her and stuff too. So it's very freaky. But let's continue. We're in the middle of it. We're a little under halfway finished with the book. In about 10 pages, we'll reach halfway. I don't know what chapter this is, but it's called The Conference. I was lying on my back with Rhea's head resting on my shoulder. The darkness was peopled now. I could hear footsteps. Something was piling up above me, higher and higher, infinitely high. The night transfixed me. The night took possession of me, enveloped and penetrated me. Possession of me, enveloped and penetrated me. Impalpable, insubstantial, turned to stone. I had ceased breathing. There was no air to breathe. As though from a distance I heard the beating of my heart. I summoned up all my remaining strength, straining every nerve, and waited for death. I went on waiting. I seemed to be growing smaller in the invisible sky, horizonless. The formless immensity of space, without clouds, without stars, receded, extended and grew bigger all round me. I tried to crawl out of bed, but there was no bed. Beneath the cover of darkness, there was a void. I pressed my hands to my face. I no longer had my fingers or any hands. I wanted to scream. So I think he's having a nightmare, right? The room floated in a blue penumbra which outlined the furniture and the laden bookshelves and drained everything of color. A pearly whiteness flooded the window. I was drenched with sweat. I glanced to one side. Rhea was gazing at me. She raised her head. Has your arm gone to sleep? Her eyes, too, had been drained of color. They were gray, but luminous beneath the black lashes. What? Her murmured words had seemed like a caress even before I understood their meaning. No, yes, I said at last. I put my hand on her shoulder. I had pins and needles in my fingers. Did you have a bad dream? She asked. I drew her to me, and with my other hand. A dream? Yes, I was dreaming. And didn't you sleep? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm sleepy, but that mustn't stop you from sleeping. Why are you looking at me like that? I closed my eyes. Her heart was beating against mine. Her heart? A mere appendage, I told myself. But nothing surprised me any longer, not even my own indifference. I had crossed the frontiers of fear and despair. I had come a long way, further than anyone had ever come before. I raised myself on my elbow. Daybreak, and the peace that comes with dawn. A silent storm had set the cloudless horizon ablaze. A streak of light, the first ray of the blue sun, penetrated the room and broke up into the sharp-edged reflections. There was a crossfire of sparks which coruscated off the mirror, the door handles, the nickel pipes. The light scattered, falling onto every smooth surface as though it wanted to conquer ever more space, to set the room alight. I looked at Rhea. The pupils of her gray eyes had contracted. She asked in an expressionless voice, "Is the night over already?" Night never lasts long here. And us? What about us? Are we going to stay here long? Coming from her, the question had its comic side. But when I spoke, my voice held no trace of gaiety. Quite a long time, probably. Why don't you want me to stay here? Her eyes did not blink. She was looking at me inquiringly. What the Is that my cat? I'll be back. Moon dust. What are you doing? I have no clue what my cat's doing. Did I see her blink? I was not sure. She drew back the blanket and I saw the little pink scar on her arm. Why are you looking at me like that? Because you're very beautiful. She smiled, without a trace of mischief, modestly acknowledging my compliment. Really? It's as though, what? As though you were doubtful of something. What nonsense. As though you didn't trust me and I were hiding something from you. Rubbish. By the way, you're denying it. I can tell I'm right. The light became blinding. Shading my eyes with my hand, I looked for my dark glasses. They were on the table. When I was back by her side, Rhea smiled. What about me? It took me a minute to understand what she meant. Dark glasses? I got up and began to hunt through drawers and shelves, pushing aside books and instruments. I found 2 pairs of glasses, which I gave to Rhea. They were too big. They fell halfway down her nose. The shutter slid over the window. It was dark once more. Groping, I helped Rhea remove her glasses and put both pairs down under the bed. "What shall we do now?" she asked. "At nighttime, one sleeps." "Chris." "Yes?" "Do you want a compass for your forehead?" "No thanks, thank you." My darling. I don't know why I had added those 2 words in the darkness. I took her by the graceful shoulders. I felt them tremble, and I knew, without the least shadow of doubt, that I held Rhea in my arms. Or rather, I understood in that moment that she was not trying to deceive me. It was I who was deceiving her, since she was sincerely believed herself to be Rhea. I dropped off several times after that, and each time an anguished start jolted me awake. Panting, exhausted, I pressed myself closer to her, my heart gradually growing calmer. She touched me cautiously on the cheeks and forehead with the tips of her fingers to see whether or not I was feverish. It was Rhea, the real Rhea, the one and only Rhea. A change came over me. I ceased to struggle, and almost at once I fell asleep. I was awakened by the agreeable sensation of coolness. My face was covered by a damp cloth. I pulled it off and found Rhea awakened by the agreeable sensation of coolness. My face was covered by a damp cloth. I pulled it off and found Rhea leaning over me. She was smiling and squeezing out a second cloth over a bowl.